Welcome to the lecture series. So in this series, we are going to start with the biological neurons and artificial neuron models. So before getting into the ANN model, we will discuss what is this biological neurons. So getting into this, we first need to understand the biological neural systems, and then we have to note down the key properties from the neuron functionality, and after that we have to create with the neuron model, artificial neuron model, and then we have to implement these neural networks, and finally we will go into the test applications in robotics and other AI applications. So this is the flow we are going to follow here. Now let us discuss the basic biological neuron systems in a human being. So here you can see it has a cell body that is nothing but the soma, and we have the dendrites, and these dendrites are nothing but the sensor parts of our cell or neuron. So from these dendrites it senses and passes through the cell. This soma will give the solution or it reacts, and that reaction will be passed through this axon, and through this axon we have the axon terminals. Through these terminals the reaction will be reacted in the body. So it consists of here the axon terminal, or we can call it a synapse. It consists of a neurotransmitter. You can see we have the synaptic cell and we have the post-synaptic cell, and in between we have this neurotransmitter. So this is the basic structure of a biological neuron. So we know dendrites, it's a receiver of the signals. So it's a branch-like structure receiving signals from the other neurons. So this is a branch-like structure. You can see it like a root. And cell body in the center part, it's also called as soma, contains the nucleus and process incoming signals. Axon, it acts as an actuator, and it has a long fiber transmitting electric impulse to the other cells. And last one is synapse. It is a junction where the signals are transmitted between the neurons. So it has a postsynaptic cell and presynaptic cell, and in between we have this neurotransmitter. And the function we can call it as first one, action potential, where the electrical signals that travels along this axon. So here the electrical signals gets traveled. And neurotransmitter release chemical messages reacted at synapses. Like first the action, the electrical signals is passed, and at the synapses part we convert this into the chemical messengers, and this transmission rate is from 0.5 to 120 minutes per meter per second. And synaptic plasticity is nothing but the strength of the connection changes with the activity. And coming to the neural artificial neural models, so from the dendrites, dendrite is sensing part, right? So we converted into input, and cell body is nothing but the action taking or gives the process. So we taking it as a weightage sum or activation function, and we have the axon through which it is transmitter. So activation function takes that part, and output terminals is nothing but your output. So biological inspiration, yes, artificial neuron mimic the real natural biological neuron behavior, and the flow is from input, it calculates the weightage and gives in summation, and then it goes for the activation. And learning mechanism, yes, weight adjustment through the training algorithm. So depending upon this weight, it calculates the path. New network architecture, it has a multi layers from single to multiple weightage or multiple from x to xn. Next, in the artificial neural perceptron, yes, we have input layer. It is a input layer A1 to AD, it's an input layer. Next comes your weightage associated with. So each input has its own weightage, and summation is we are weighting this weighted. So here we will have an summation part to sum our weight, and activation function is it output 1 if sum is greater than 0. So it activates according to the summation. So here we have the two parts, one is summation part and one is your activation part. Depending upon the summation result, the activation will be done. And Finally, the perceptron mathematical model here is y is equal to f of summation of function of summation of weight into input plus biasing. Biasing is nothing but the external factor which we give to modulate our output. And in advanced model, we have multi-layer perceptron, convolutional neural networks, and recurrent neural networks, generalized, that is GAD, generative adversarial network, and here two networks compete to generate a data. So here the training models which we use is backpropagation and dropout, batch nomination, and transfer learning, etc. So we have a comparison. Here we use the electrochemical signals. Here we use the mathematical operation. It is a synaptic plasticity used. Here the weightage adjustment is done and speed is 0.5 to 120. Here it is up to 10 power 9. And here energy, high energy consumption, here low energy efficiency. So up to this we conclude with the biological neurons compared with our artificial neural networks. In next lecture series we will continue about the perceptron and types of perceptrons in the artificial neural models. Thank you.